is the best place in the whole world to be. It's right back here where we are now. I'm Jimmy Gentry, and I've lived in Williamson County for 91 years.
Okay, my name is Johnny Green. I'm 90 years old. I was born on 4th Avenue South, so I just had my 90th birthday.
My name is Catherine Brent. I have lived in Franklin I was born here 86 years ago and have remained here.
My name is Margaret Martin, and I've lived in Franklin for almost 79 years.
My father was a working man, but his work was never done. He stood behind a counter and he smiled at everyone. He bought himself a business, worked 7 days a week. Whoa.
Everything in this town is just so different. We were just a small, quiet, quaint little town with no incidents, no accidents, no any disturbances. The most important thing I remember about downtown Franklin, we had a 10-cent store. You could run downtown, walk downtown, get crayons, get glue, and the clerks there all knew all of us, and everybody trusted their kids to walk downtown alone. All the little things that a 10-cent store provides, you can no longer find. But even first graders were allowed to go alone because Franklin had that element of safety.
There were 3 drugstores, Gray Drugs, Sandlin Drugs, and Corner Drugs, where Starbucks is.
You could buy clothes on Main Street. The dentist was upstairs, had offices upstairs on Main Street. The doctors had their offices on Main Street. Hardware stores on two of the corners on Main Street. Whatever you needed, you go to Main Street. Williamson County's always been a farming community. The farmers would be busy all week, but they would come to Franklin, downtown into Franklin, on Saturday afternoon. The ladies, the wives would do the shopping, and the men would sit on that rock fence in front of the First Presbyterian Church and wait for their wives. That was the waiting wall. That's where you waited till you go off the wall. You'd sit on that rock fence, and the bus would pull up and call your name, hop off and get on the bus, and you're gone. So it's a special place.
We had a movie theater, which is where the present movie theater is.
It was not the Franklin Theater. It was the picture show. Somebody said a theater, we thought that was something up in New York or Chicago or somewhere, a theater.
It was the picture show, and it still is to me.
As a kid, I think it was 15 cents, something like that, 15 cents or 25 cents perhaps, something of that effect. And we'd save our money, nickels and dimes, whatever we could, so we could go to the picture show on Saturday morning, and what we did.
We'd go to the movie on Friday night and watch Hopalong Cassidy or something like that, you know.
The manager of the theater was Herbert Bowen, and he knew all of our parents well. He knew us well. When any of the children misbehaved, he would come and pat you on the shoulder and say, "You do know that I know your parents and I will call them." So we were very good in the theater.
It just was laid back times, you know, and you look for things to do, look for things to stay busy with, and just play. That was my big thing, just having fun.
This is the sort of thing we did in the 30s for entertainment.
I had a cold stand next door to your house. They delivered us a case a week out of the big truck. They were nickel maybe, something like that, you know, they're very cheap. But anyway, we had a good time.
Margaret Martin, whom you all know as an alderman, lived next door in the log cabin.
We would make clover chains, Finley, and hold them across the street and wait half the day for a car to come by and break the clover chain.
And then we would spend an hour or 2 hours making another clover leaf chain. But we did things like that are so unheard of. There was no TV. There was no any distraction from just being out. And I think kids have missed so much of that.
Franklin did have something that nobody else in the United States had. and that was Willow Plunge swimming pool. Now you say, well, everybody had a swimming pool, but not like Willow Plunge. Willow Plunge was special. It was fed by spring water, and the water flowed down and flowed into two pools. They're side by side, flowed in and out of the pools all around the clock.
The coldest water in the entire world. If you could stay in that water, you were pretty tough. So most of the girls just would sunbathe and get in occasionally when it was 95 maybe. But the boys loved the water because they did not mind the cold, but we hated it.
It had the weeping willow trees around on the west side and the north side, made it a beautiful setting. It's not there now. I wish we had saved it. I wish we'd kept it. It was a wonderful, wonderful place.
Margaret lived next door and she was like my little sister.
Our phone number was 135. Not everybody had phones, but the Hardisons hadn't gotten their phone yet, so they would get phone calls from the young men, and they would call our number, and we had a little bell hooked up to their house on a little string, and we would ring it however many times their number was. If it was 2, it would be for Catherine, and if it was 4, it might be for Marie.
Of course, you had operators. They also knew all about you, but all the operators were just all special people we knew, as were the mailmen, and they would say, you know, so-and-so's mail's stacking up. Do you know if they're out of town?
They had 4 or 5 ladies that operated the phone system. And you get on the phone, they knew who you were, you know, all like that.
One day I called Lillian, and that's what she did. She said, number please. And I said, Lillian, I knew who it was. She knew who I was too, by voice. I said, Lillian, give me number 79, please. She said, Jimmy, they're not at home. They've gone to the grocery. Just like that.
You know, we had one policeman in town, Mr. Garner, and he was a friend to everybody. But my mother would spend her time on the front porch and say, come on here, Mr. Garner, what's he been reported doing now? That was me.
Everything was on a personal level, and it's hard to grow old in an impersonal world. But nevertheless, we were blessed and still blessed.
I can remember when there were 4,000, and I thought that we would never have another person move to Franklin. There just weren't that many of us here.
There's so many benefits to the way we grew up. And I will have to say, I'm sure probably more benefits to now, but it depends upon how you look at it. And we felt so complete.
I could tell when I taught school, I could tell the year that the children's attention span was gone. You could show a cartoon, you could show everything. Then it got so that these were boring. And so that was a very sad time for me to realize that we were changing that much, that our children were being guided in other directions.
I know everybody on my street, everybody in downtown Franklin virtually, but it's not like it used to be when you went to town and knew every human being downtown.
It bothers me when people say, oh, we just got too much growth. We just don't want any more people coming here because it will ruin our town.
It's much better to be able to have lots of acquaintances and friends than it is strangers, I think. But you can speak to strangers too, you know. You know, it wouldn't be good if it wasn't anybody here. You wouldn't have any fun. But it's okay. I don't have any problems with it. You just have more neighbors, that's all. Most of them okay.
Newcomers have made this town. My mother always said, Franklin is not a cold, unwelcoming place. All a newcomer has to do is open your arms and Franklin will fall in.
And out here on the edge, the empire is fading by the day. And the world is so weary and more. And maybe we'll find that new way. for you now.